Call-in line for the community to hear the meeting interpreted live in Spanish has been established. The number to call is 508-924-5155. Again, 508-924-5155. Board Member LaSalle Frazier, would you please make the announcement in Spanish?
Se ha establecido una línea telefónica para que la comunidad pueda llamar y tenga acceso a interpretación en español en vivo. El número a llamar es el 508-924-5155. Repito, 508-924-5155.
Gracias. Thank you. Finally, for those who are not able to observe the meeting now, it is being recorded and can be accessed for later viewing on PGCPS YouTube channel. Now we will have the board prayer and pledge allegiance led by our Vice Chair, Board Member Sonia Williams. Please lead us in prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please bow your head. O God, we pray to administer that which is just in all educational policies, being ever mindful of your guidance, steer us to action with love, wisdom, and understanding. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now have the roll call. Ms. Guerrero, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Mrs. Adams Stafford. Ms. Boozer Strother. Here. Mr. Cerrone Ruiz.
Here.
Dr. Harris.
Here.
Mrs. LaSalle Frazier.
Present.
Mrs. Mickens Murray.
Here.
Dr. Zephora Miller.
Here.
Mr. Murray. Mr. Valentine.
Here.
Mrs. Williams.
Present.
Dr. Miller.
Present. Now we will have the adoption of the agenda for November 10th, 2022. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, and the agenda is adopted. Now we will move into 2.6, approval of the meeting minutes for September 22nd, 2022, board meeting, and October 13th, 2022, board work session, and the October 27th, 2022 board meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for all those meetings listed?
So moved.
It has been moved to approve the minutes for September 22nd, October 13th, and October 27th, 2022 board meetings. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the minutes are adopted. Now we will have a news break, a steamroller. Now let's turn our attention to the screen to view tonight's news break presentation titled, A Steamroller.
We're here in Bowie this morning at Heather Hills Elementary School, and science is on a roll. Yes, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, STEAM, the Steammobile. It's a bus. It's fun. It's here. Behold the Steammobile. 5 years in the making. The lime green bus, covered with pictures proclaiming Prince George's pride, is a movable feast of science, technology, engineering, art, and math activities that widened the eyes of students from the moment they saw it. Inside the bus, they instinctively took to the cubelet robot blocks that tested their engineering and design skills. They used makerspace materials like wheels and axles to demonstrate what great teamwork looked like. And thanks to virtual reality goggles, they traveled to places like Dubai without ever leaving Bowie.
It was actually really cool. It was pretty interesting. I got to select where I wanted to go, and I chose Dubai, and I got to look around at a bunch of different places.
Now, when you went in the bus, what did you think with the first thing you saw?
I thought it was really cool, actually, because I've never seen a bus with like so much technology in it, and it also had like a bunch of stuff you could put together and build stuff.
Were you having a good time?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me what you liked about that.
Like the way we could invent things and then like play with different stuff and different textures that like we couldn't play with on a regular daily basis.
Did you know this bus was coming?
Yes.
Yeah. The transformation of an old school bus to a star attraction has been a labor of love for the county school's technology training team, and especially for the leader of the team whose idea it was to build that bus. It's come true.
It has finally. I mean, the bus is here. The bus is here. So I am so excited. I saw it, and it's actually here, just in time.
When you got this idea, what did you hope that this bus would do for our kids?
I think the one thing, a couple things. I wanted to make sure that our students were involved in making the bus. And then I wanted to be able to provide activities for our students, particularly our young girls and boys, our students of color, to give them an early exposure to STEM in the STEAM field. I just wanted the students to have an opportunity to have fun and learn at the same time. They can go wherever they want to go. They can actually do and build and be creative, be students.
The Steammobile's debut even brought out that most celebrated of all scientists, Albert Einstein. Well, beneath that signature messy hair and the lab coat, there was no mistaking a Heather Hill's favorite, tag coordinator, Richard Johnson. Do you dress like this all the time?
No, actually no, but it's something that I inspire to do more often. The kids were so excited to see me dressed up. It got them ready for today, and just so happy to be here. So it was because it just grabs their attention, and I guess it just taps into their imagination and creativity that you can just convert a bus into a whole learning, a mobile learning lab.
Designed to work in tandem with classroom activities, students switching places from bus lab to school building, the STEAM Mobile Lab will be visiting elementary through high schools across the county and, along the way, sparking career ideas. Just listen as that magic has already begun. Think you'd ever want to be a scientist yourself, Jonah?
Well, I wanted to be a scientist, but now I want to be a mechanical engineer.
What do you want to do someday? Are you going to be a STEAM girl?
I probably want to do science or be a doctor.
So, the STEAM Lab is setting off with a full head of steam as it heads out onto the highways. Look for it in your neighborhood. That big green machine will be advertising that the kids on the outside of the bus and the ones inside are the county's finest. This is Dave Zarin reporting.
It is a distinct privilege tonight to recognize another Prince George's County student and as our our unsung partner. Tonight's unsung partner is not only a Prince George's County Public Schools senior, he's also a baker, a business owner, social entrepreneur, food justice advocate, and an author. His webpage is informative and resume quite impressive. Michael C. Platt is a brand ambassador for Hero Boy Box, a subscription that focuses on teaching leadership and confidence, and a partner with fundraisers No Kid Hungry and Generation NKH to help in efforts to end hunger. He also works to mobilize other youth to join in the cause and end hunger in his generation. Michael has been baking since he was 9 years old and has been interested in the challenges of inequality since he learned about the historic March on Washington at the age of 6. Our honoree comes from a home of educators. As a matter of fact, his grandmother is a former Prince George's County Board of Education member. Go back to my script. Our honor and advocates began to ask questions early on about the challenges of inequity. Inspired by a pair of TOMS shoes he received as a present, Michael decided that he would begin a baking business with a 1-for-1 model. From the beginning of Michael's desserts, he has donated a dessert to someone in need for every one dessert that he sells. With this model, Michael has served countless people. He is also the founder and owner of PLLATE, a nonprofit that stands for Power, Love, Learning, and Access to Everyone. Through Plate, he provides snack packs, classes on budget cooking, and small space gardening. Michael has his eyes set on establishing a pay-what-you-can grocery store through his nonprofit so that everyone has access to healthy and affordable food. On season 4 of the Food Network's Kids Baking Championship, Michael appeared with 11 of the best kid bakers in the country. This young scholar has given a TEDx talk and featured in the Washington Post, Good Morning America, The Today Show, CNN, Disney Plus, People Magazine, Capital Gazette, and our local news. Join me in honoring our November 2022 Prince George's Board of Education Unsung Partner and Class of 2023 member, Michael C. Platt. You make us PGC proud. Come on down. And this is Michael's mom, Janita Platt. Oh, you have something to say?
Hello. I have a book that came out last Tuesday on the 1st. It is a cookbook that I wrote. It's about like giving back. It's a lot of stories about my history, about my family, but also is meant to inspire kids to give back. So I think it'd be really cool for it to be in like libraries in the county and also schools in the county, just to kind of inspire other children and get them involved in giving back, and also baking, just kind of teaching them some stuff about cooking and baking, and also some history lessons just about my family and just some people who inspired me.
Well, you're talking to the board, and you have the CEO who has a team of members who review books, and it's possible you may go on out a recommended reading list. Am I correct? Is that correct? The process? Okay. Well, Michael, I present this certificate of recognition to you on November 22nd, 2022, as our unsung partner in recognition of your dedication to the advancement of social justice through community advocacy and social entrepreneurship. Presented this 10th day of November 2022. Signed by the chair and the vice chair. Oh, we have some goodies for you. Oh, and it's not an empty bag, it's got stuff in it. So you can't say, they just gave me a bag. Oh no, we got some goodies in here. But there's one special thing that I hope is in here, that we want to make sure. Yeah, here it is. I know I'm opening your stuff, but as a baker, when you go on the media, wear this apron. All right, let me put his stuff back. Whichever way you want. And this is Sarah Johnson. She's a former member of the Prince George's County Board of Education. I'm going to give it to you.
Everybody this way in 3, 2, 1. More in 3, 2, and 1.
Thank you. Congratulations. Here's the box for your plaque.
I need your book, so I will look for it because I can't cook. Thank you so much.
This is his, and this is his. Sure. Oh, yes. Thank you. Michael is leaving this book with us so that we can give it to our CEO and she can do what needs to be done. Thank you. Next, I'm taking a special point of privilege. Tonight marks the last meeting for our vice chair. And yes, I'm emotional because during the 2 years that I have served on this board, she's been a solid rock. And parting is sweet sorrow, but this isn't sweet for me. Sonia Williams was first appointed by former County Executive Rashawn Baker III in January 2014. In December 2018, she was sworn in. She was sworn in as an elected member to represent Board of Education District 9 for a second term, and she was also my board representative in District 9. In January 2021, she was appointed by Prince George's County Executive Angela Brooks to serve as vice chair. Ms. Williams, a civil engineer with over 25 years of project management experience on local and national construction projects and a Prince George's County resident since the age of 5, completed her secondary education at Crossland High School in 1985. After which she attended the University of Maryland to study civil engineering. Her career in civil engineering began as a project management intern at the Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission, working on the headquarters building in Laurel. Since the internship, she has worked on other local notable projects, including the expansion of BWI Marshall Airport and the Tanger Outlet Mall. As a civil engineer specializing in project management, she has honed an important set of transferable leadership skills that include the ability to communicate across different education and experience levels, build successful teams that focus on similar goals, manage multi-million-dollar budgets, and manage time and resources to support reaching the desired outcome on schedule and budget. She received her master's degree in international organization leadership from Georgetown University. Mrs. Williams has used these leadership skills in the community in many different roles, to include the PTSA president, community organizer, parent association treasurer, school fundraising co-chair, and community developer. Since her first elected term, she has held over 55 coffee with your school board member events every third Saturday of the month, worked closely with PGCPS Capital Programs Office to improve the school construction and renovation process, with the successful outcome of 6 brand-new schools opening in fall of 2023. Sonia has sponsored transportation for high school students to attend an annual college fair, created and enhanced several reports to improve how the administration communicates its progress to the board to support better governance and decision-making, and has been an active member of several board committees holding key committee leadership positions such as chair and vice chair of the board's academic achievement and operations, budget, and fiscal affairs committee, and a member of the Policy and Governance Committee at various times during her 8 years plus years tenure. In addition, she has been an integral part of the Career Technology CTE workshop, the Alternative Construction Financing Development Team, and the Bus Transportation Task Force. I don't know about anybody else, but I will miss Sonia I will miss Sonia. And Sonia has really, I love her. You could not ask for a better team member, team player, vice chair, confidant, you name it, Sonia was it. And guess what? Sonia and I were born on the same day. She was born before me. But anyway, Sonia Williams, I'd like to present you this certificate of recognition. And I'd like to also acknowledge that our delegate, Susie Proctor, is here, who is has been a part of Sonia's 9th District team. Susie, come on down. Delegate Proctor. And I was surprised the person who will be replacing Ms. Williams is Lolita Walker. She will be the next, she will be sworn in on December 5th. So Ms. Walker, you come down too. I might be setting precedent, but whatever. Sonia, all these goodies for you. Huh? No, but she might want to say something. I just read this, didn't I? Oh, no, I didn't. Sonia, thank you for your unfaltering efforts, dedication, commitment, and exemplary public service in support of students, staff, and constituents of Prince George's County. Your unwavering belief in Prince George's County Board of Education's vision and mission afforded us to experience firsthand your insight, leadership, and foresight. As a member of the Board of Education, you consistently advocated for student programs and services while pioneering infrastructure development projects that will enhance the education and career success of our students for years to come, ensuring equitable access to quality instruction for all. We are forever grateful to you for your benevolence, advocacy, and contributions to the stakeholders of our county, your allegiance to Prince George's County Board of Education and Prince George's County Public Schools. Her flowers or her vase for her flowers. Oh, the vase reads, Excellence in Service, Prince George's County Board of Education, Sonia Williams, January 2014 through December 2022. And
so can we actually do the flowers? Okay, I just won't be able to see that.
okay. That's heavy. Oh, it's something in there. Okay. Now you want me to put it back. Put it there. Sonia Williams.
One, two, three.
Sonia Williams. While they're hugging and kissing, the one thing I always miss with and appreciated about Sonia, if there was some policy or something that, or some discussion item that we had needed to go back on, Sonia would go into this, her iPad. She carries it everywhere, and all the time. Thank you, Delegate Parker, for coming out.
Before I say any of my remarks, I just wanted to, this is just overwhelming.
They're your tissues.
You never know what people think of you until you're about to leave. But I'm touched by this note that was on the flowers. It says, "For a job well done, Madam Vice Chair, you have served the steadfast mission of," hold on, let me put my glasses on so I can read it all the way. Sorry. "The steadfast mission of serving students, and it shows in all you have accomplished. Thank you for your service, students and staff of District 9. So, just thank you. This has been an amazing ride. As a product of Prince George's County, I know what we can accomplish. I've always said that. Somewhere, we lost our way. And as a parent, my first thought wasn't to put my child in Prince George's County Public Schools. But my neighbors had their children in Prince George's County Public Schools. And when my son went into the 9th grade, my husband and I, we had, some very interesting conversations that were heated, and the decision was to put our son in Prince George's County Public Schools. I walked into the school, met the principal, Tracy Miller, and she said, I told her, I want to be a part. I'm a parent. If my son is going to be here all this time, I want to know who he's interacting with every day. She said, come on. And somehow I ended up being PTA president. And it is because of Dr. Tracy Miller that I'm able to sit here today, because she opened the doors and provided me with so much information. So when I responded to the call to fill a vacant seat, I knew a little bit of what Prince George's County Public Schools was about. My biggest thing was that we didn't talk about all the success that is accomplished in these walls of Prince George's County Public Schools. We have students that graduate early. We have students that graduate with associate's degrees. We have students that just graduate, because that is what we do. We graduate about 7,500 students each year. And what was really impressive is last year, we graduated hundreds of students that were designated as 11th graders, because we provided the opportunity for them to get credits to be considered seniors. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I tell my girlfriends all the time, if I want you to meet a guy and I say, oh, he lives with his mama, he doesn't have a job, and he doesn't have a car, you're not going to want to meet him. But if I say he just returned from Paris because he's a professor at the University of Paris and he speaks 5 languages, you will want to meet that person. It's how we present what we are doing that will give people the opportunity to make their own decisions. As I sit here every day as a board member, believe me, this work is every day, even before I was chair. It takes up a lot of my time. My desire has always been to make the best decisions that were in the best interest of this school system, not only for the 130,000 students that we serve every day, to provide them with the best education for a better future, but the daily livelihoods of 20,000 employees. So when we sit here and make decisions and spend the precious resources that we have to keep that in mind. And I do that every day. And so as I pass the baton to the newly elected Lolita Walker, who's going to fill this seat and do a phenomenal job, I just want to say thank you to every staff member that I've interacted with. Because when I came on this board, I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't grow up in my career in education. I didn't know what IEPs and 504s and all these things were. I didn't even know how to push the button to be recognized. But I wanted to find out, how do we operate so that I can add value to improve the school system. So I want to thank every single staff member, from the bus driver, the custodian, all the way up to principals, the CEO and her executive leadership team. You all have helped me to perform this work to the best of my ability, and I appreciate that. I want to thank Dr. Golson in particular, because when she took on this role, I knew it was a big deal, and she has stepped up and she has done a phenomenal job, a phenomenal job. My board colleagues, every single one of you have impacted my life, some better than others, but I think I'm going to walk away with some lifelong friends. I really am. And I will be here, even though I won't be sitting in this seat, I will be here. To the 21 schools that I was able to represent and the students within, I love going to the schools. When we were in the pandemic, it was hard, but I knew that we were providing them with the best possible service of education that we could. And so I love every single school. I will continue to stop by and, participate. I am a parent of a 9th grader now that's in the school system. I have 2 children, 9 years apart, so I'm doing it again. So I will be a parent, and I will close with, it has been a phenomenal ride. You have impacted my life. I understand the work that needs to be done in order to educate students, because Prince George's County is the best place to educate Black and brown children in the state of Maryland, without a doubt. You can look at the data and it will prove it. So I'm going to close with my favorite saying in District 9. I will have my last coffee in November on the 3rd Saturday, but PGCPS D9 rocks. Thank you.
That's a tough act to follow. We'll miss you. Well, I'll miss you here, but I'll see you outside. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we must move on to the report of the chair. I had a book to go through with you all today, but I'm not going to spoil the joy. I'm going to just report on having a moment of silence. Tomorrow, November 11th, is Veterans Day. And to all veterans of all branches of the military who have served and those who continue to serve, thank you for all your sacrifice, your bravery, and the example you set for us all. In short, thank you for the service, and happy Veterans Day. Now colleagues, we'll take at this time in honoring the memory of the following Prince George's Public Schools staff, family, and community members with a moment of silence. J.D.L. Rodriguez Martinez, student, Bladensburg Elementary School. Genesis Gonzalez, student, Charles Carroll Middle School. Vitilio Johnson, Clerk Typist 3, John Carroll Elementary School. Maurice D. Montgomery, Teacher, William Wirt Middle School. Please continue to keep these families in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. The next upcoming meetings of the board. Our next meeting of the board will be held on December 8th, 2022. The Academic Achievement Committee will meet virtually next week on Monday, November 14th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. The Policy and Governance Committee will meet virtually on Tuesday, November 15th, 2022 at 5 p.m. And the Operations, Budget, and Fiscal Affairs Committee will meet virtually on Wednesday, November 16th at 5 p.m. Please continue to check our webpage for information about upcoming board meetings. Now we will move to item 2.10, Report of the Chief Executive Officer. I yield now to you, Dr. Golson.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to start by thanking our staff and families for their hard work as we wrap up the first quarter of the 2022-2023 school year. It is always great to hear about the innovative teaching and learning activities in our schools and ways that we partner with families to support all students. For students in need of literacy help, please sign up for free online tutoring through Book Nook. Sessions start in January for students in grades kindergarten through 5th grade. More details can be found on the PGCPS website. As a reminder, registration for specialty programs and public charter schools is still open. More than 800 families and students attended last week's specialty program showcase to learn more about many programs that we offer. Prince George's County Public Schools offers a wide variety of programs that allow students to explore their talents in language immersion, the arts, gifted education, Montessori, and many others. We encourage you to research the programs that best suit your child's skills and interests and submit your application before the deadline. Please also join me in congratulating Cesar Chavez Spanish Dual Immersion School on its $145,000 grant for stormwater management strategies and outdoor learning spaces awarded by Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. I also want to express my appreciation to the Excellence in Education Foundation and all who attended the 4th annual PGCPS Hall of Fame Gala. The event raised more than $225,000 for scholarships and recognized our trailblazing alumni. Many thanks for all who played a role in last week's event. And then lastly, I want to wish the best to Vice Chair Sonia Williams and Board Member Joshua Thomas, who I missed his departure in the last meeting. We have accomplished so much together when we all row in the same direction. May you sail into your next venture with the same commitment and tenacity that you had for leading in the role of board leader and also for supporting the 131,000 students that we have. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Golson. Now we will have the introduction of the committee members and committee charge from the Academic Achievement Chair, Dr. Zipporah Miller. I yield the floor to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The members of the Academic Achievement Committee are as follows. Myself, serving as Chair, Board Member Shayla Adams Stafford, Committee Vice Chair, Board Member Joshua M. Thomas, Board Member Curtis Valentine, and Student Board Member Alvaro Cerron Ruiz. The charge for the Academic Achievement Committee is as follows. The Academic Achievement Committee is charged with working collaboratively to explore and support new ideas, innovations, and policies that will focus on closing academic achievement gaps, improving outcomes in priority schools and with underserved populations, and enhancing outcomes for high-performing schools and students to reach higher levels of excellence. Specifically, this committee will do as follows. Review the Literacy Plan 2.0, instructional framework, and student learner profile. Review mental health supports to students and staff. Explore the math and reading curriculum, the learner experience, and the alignment to county and state assessments. Review the special education and ESOL strategic plans, the learning experiences, and the parent resources. Explore college and career readiness opportunities such as career and technical education, known as CTE, advanced placement, AP, international baccalaureate, IB, and dual enrollment. Also, understand the process of data-driven decision-making, review early learning programs and kindergarten readiness, and understand the application to acceptance process for specialty programs. In addition, during the month of November, we will review the core content pass rate for math and science by race and special education. During the month of December, we will review the core content pass rate for English language arts and social studies by race and special education, and the kindergarten grades 1 and 2 literacy data. During the month of January, we will review the disaggregated benchmark analysis. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zipporah Miller. Now we will move to the public comment on the agenda. And as I see, colleagues, there are no registered speakers for live public comment this evening. We received one written public comment, which has been posted to board docs. This concludes the public comment section of the agenda. We'll now move to the consent agenda. Dr. Golson, please introduce items 4.1 through 4.2 under the consent agenda.
Yes, thank you. Items 4.1 through 4.2 requires board approval of the proclamations commemorating Computer Science Education Week and the 50-year commemoration of Sylvester Vaughn's and the fight et al. And the fight for equity in Prince George's County Public Schools.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve items 4.1 and 4.2 under the consent agenda?
Second.
It has been moved in second that we approve the items 4.1 and 4.2 under the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying yay.
Yay.
Any noes? The motion passes. Thank you. Budget consent agenda. Dr. Golson, please introduce items 5.1 through 5.3 under the budget consent agenda.
Thank you. Items 5.1 through 5.3 requires board approval of the December 2022 expenditure requirements, January 2023 expenditure requirements, and approval of the Blueprint School Phase 2 Package Educational Specifications. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Golson. May I have a motion to approve items 5.1 through 5.3 under the budget consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved in second. It is moved in second to approve items 5.1 and through 5.3 under the budget consent agenda. All in favor, please say, any discussion? Vice Chair Williams.
I just want to say congratulations on this amazing feat. To be able to say that we will be opening as many schools as we have under construction right now, but an additional 6 in the next, 3 or 4 years, this is an amazing feat. And when I first got on the board, one of the biggest challenges is that we had like an $8 billion ticket of school construction and school maintenance that needed to be done, and we didn't have a clue as to how it was going to get done. To see what we have accomplished over the last 5 years is amazing. And so again, Dr. Golson, I so appreciate your leadership and the support of your executive leadership team, because they really made this happen. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Abuza Strother.
Thank you so much, Chair Miller. I just wanted to second how exciting the educational specifications are and the adoption of what we're seeing in the strategic plan, in the climate change action plan, and I did want to thank our one public comment writer, Joseph Jakuta of Climate Parents, who analyzed these plans for the recommendations in that plan, and the speed of this is remarkable, and I just want to thank you for that. But the exciting learning opportunities, the outdoor classroom planning, and other aspects of these new buildings, and that we are, everything coming together, that we are finally resolving ADA requirements, we're resolving security entrances and doors and locks, and so many aspects of what our staff and our students and our families are looking for in our schools. Or you can read this in these documents, and it's very exciting. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Board Member Abuza Strother. Now, may I have, going for the vote, all those in favor signify by saying yay.
Yay.
Aye.
We're having confusion tonight with, we can say aye. We can say aye. There's a time we have to say yay and a time we have to say aye. We're being instructed, this is a learning experience tonight for all the board members in terms of some parliamentary procedures. So I just want to make it clear, since this is on tape, and that folks will understand we are still learning as well. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Now we will move into the comprehensive governance, second reader, unfinished business. Dr. Golson, would you please introduce item 6.1 under governance?
Yes. Item 6.1 requires board approval of the comprehensive school boundary proposal.
May I have a motion to approve item 6.1, comprehensive school boundary proposal under governance?
So moved.
It's been moved in second to approve the comprehensive school boundary proposal. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Next, we will have board.
Chair Miller, before we move to 7.1, can I ask for a point of personal privilege just to thank our staff?
I didn't understand.
Can I ask for a point of personal privilege before we move to item 7.1?
Well, we're just moving to 6.2.
Oh, we just moved to 6. Lord have mercy. Thank you.
6.2.
I'm moving the night along.
I think you are, Chair. We're moving to 6.1 with Board Member Judy Mickens Murray. Please introduce items 6.2 and 6.3 under governance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Board of Education on October 27, 2022 voted and approved the following two policies as first reader. Policy 0109, Financial Impropriety, Improper Conduct, and Whistleblowing Protection, and Policy 5113, Student Attendance, Absence, and Truancy. Colleagues, may I have a motion? I make a motion. I move.
I'm sorry.
Colleagues, I move to advance Policy 0109 and Policy 113 for your consideration as second reader. Thank you.
Second.
May I have a motion to approve item 6.2? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes to approve item 6.2 and item 6.3 under governance. Next, Dr. Harris, please introduce item 6.4 under governance, second reader, unfinished business.
Thank you, Chair Miller. I've actually got two recommendations from my office. I'll read the first. The Board of Education on October 27, 2022 voted and approved the recommendations from the OBOFA Committee to accept the revised budget amendment process as first reader with necessary date changes from our CFO. The revised budget amendment process will be voted on tonight at the full Board of Education meeting with the recommendations to advance to second reader. To advance to consideration. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the recommendations of the OBOFA Committee for the budget amendment process.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. May I have a motion to approve item 6.
It's on the floor. It's been seconded.
Oh, is there a second?
It's been seconded.
Okay, it has been moved in second. I was distracted. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passed.
And Dr. Miller, I've got one more under 6.4.
Okay.
So it's the annual responsibility of the board to provide guidance on the fiscal year budget of the Prince George's County school system. So thank you to all the members who provided their budget priorities these past couple of weeks for FY 2024 as we continue to move throughout this collaborative process to finalize our budgets. In front of each board member, there are the consolidated budget priorities that have been provided to us that came through OBOFA, and we'll be providing those to CEO Monica Golson as well as the CFO. So I'd like to make a motion to accept these consolidated budget member priorities as the official priorities for FY 2024.
Thank you. Did everyone get a chance to see those? Okay, great. May I have a second? It has been moved in second to approve the revised budget amendment process.
This is budget priorities.
Fiscal priorities.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Harris. And thank you, Board Member Mickens-Murray. I don't know if I thanked you or not. Item 7.0, new business for first readers, would have been presented by Board Member Adam Stafford as the liaison of the Parent and Community Advisory Council. Due to Ms. Adams, Board Member Adam Stafford's impending birth of her second child, she was unable to attend tonight, so we will postpone this until our next meeting. And while I'm on Ms. Adams Stafford, we wish her well and a healthy baby and a healthy mama. Next, we will move to item 8.0, which is a non-consent agenda, and there are no items that have been pulled. 9.0, we will follow up. Colleagues, follow-up items from September 22nd board meeting and October 27th board meeting have been posted on board docs. Oh, Dr. Golson, thank you.
Thank you. You were moving so fast. I wanted to make a comment before we concluded tonight's board meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you. So under 6.1 tonight, the Board of Education just approved the comprehensive school boundary recommendations, and I want to thank our community and staff for those changes and to just briefly share what those changes will be. I want to thank our community, Bowie City Council, Bowie Senators, and other elected officials for questions, emails, concerns, and inquiries. We received 54 emails to the PGCPS boundary email address, 29 comments during the October 20th, 2022 public hearing, 32 comments during the October 25th, 2022 public hearing, and 45 written comments submitted to the Board of Education for testimony. I want to thank especially Board Member Sapora Miller, Board Member LaSalle Frazier, and Board Member Mickens-Murray for your advocacy concerning the 3 schools presented for consolidation. You continue to ask questions to fully understand why those schools were considered and advocated for the best solution possible that met the needs of the community and addressed the needs of the school district. And for that, I want to say thank you. Tonight's board action summary that was approved included allowing rising 5th and 8th grade students who would be impacted by boundary changes to remain at their current school for their final year, Transportation will be provided by parents, and siblings will be permitted to remain at the current school for that year only, that one additional year. We are eliminating the boundary changes at 29 schools that would have impacted fewer than 20 students at each school. And then lastly, the comprehensive plan just approved will address overutilization across Prince George's County Public Schools. It removes several of our aging buildings from our current inventory, freeing up more funds for us to use for existing buildings, reduces the number of temporary classrooms, and allows the school system to increase pre-kindergarten openings. And lastly, it finally allows us to align the 6th grades with middle schools, which we have been trying to do for more than 10 years. Lastly, as you are aware, House Bill 1107 authorizes the Chief Executive Officer the ability to consolidate schools as practicable and arrange for transportation of students to and from consolidated schools. Therefore, the board action summary did not include the consolidation of the 3 schools presented in October. And as shared in November, in the November 2nd communication to our community, I will delay the consolidation of Concord and Porter Ridge Elementary Schools until the fall of 2024, placing all 3 schools on the same timetable, which means Rose Valley, Concord, and Porter Ridge will begin the consolidation process in the fall of 2024. We'll use next year as part of that transition process. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There was a lot of work that went into it through our consultants, WXY, that we have used for 2 years, and to our staff. I just wanted to say thank you to them, and that is Rihanna McCarter, who is here tonight, and John Wooden, who know every intricate street, student that's impacted, and we met weekly to make sure that we did this in a way that made it transparent, that parents were involved in the process, and that all board members understood what you would be voting on. And then lastly, I also want to thank Christian Rhodes, who came back to PGCPS because he knew this was such a big project. I asked him to please make sure that I had dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's and didn't leave a single person out of this process. So all 3 are here tonight, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That vote, I know it went quickly, but I wanted to make sure our community knew that you had put in a lot of time making sure you understood what the changes were, and we had lots of conversations throughout this process to make sure everyone was secure in making the decisions and voting that you did today. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Golson. I saw Board Member Valentine, your light is on.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, item 7.1, do we have to vote to table that? Or I know you mentioned it, that the board member is not here tonight, but do we have to vote to table an item that's already been on the agenda?
Well, we can. Madam Parliamentarian, do we need to vote to table this since the presenter is not here? Okay. Okay, may I have a motion to table items 7.0 and 7.1, new business, first reader, the Parent and Community Advisory Council bylaws? Okay, with no objections, this item will be tabled. Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. Okay, moving. I apologize. Board Member Mickens-Murray.
I wanted to comment on 6.1 comprehensive school boundary proposal. I wanted to say to the community that Dr. Golson listened to you. We did not dictate any of those changes. She heard you. And I think it's important for the community to understand that when they come out, they talk, that you will hear them. So thank you, Dr. Golson. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any further discussions? I was moving too fast. Dr. Zipporah Miller. Your mic.
I did want to echo my colleague's sentiments that Dr. Golson was very responsive Every time we asked questions, every time we brought a concern, yes, you listened to our constituents, so thank you.
Any further comments on 6.1? Okay, thank you. There are no non-consent agenda items. We will follow up on, as I mentioned, September 22nd, 2022 board meeting and October 27, 2022 board meeting have been posted on board docs. Now, we would ordinarily take a motion to confirm actions taken in executive session. However, we did not conclude our business in the executive session and will reconvene into executive session after concluding all the items on our public agenda. And this concludes it. May I have a motion to adjourn? To reconvene into executive session. Madam Parliamentarian, does the Vice Chair need to read that statement again to go into executive session?
You've already indicated.
Okay, all right, thank you. Oh, okay, then we will have a continuation of the executive session. May I have a motion to adjourn from the public meeting?
Second.
It has been moved and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The meeting is adjourned. I'd like to thank our guests for coming out tonight, and again, congratulations to our Unsung, our newly elected District 9 board member-elect, and Delegate Susie Proctor. So once the auditorium is cleared, we will reconvene into the executive session.